Another period of question and answer.
Ajahn, can you explain investigation in terms of Panch Khanda Upadan? With an example, Panch Khanda Upadan.
The 5 khandas.
Yeah, with an example, a real life example.
Well, that's what you have been doing for the last hour. You might not have noticed it if you were mindful. So, when you investigate, it's really within the realm, within the context of seeing the anicca, dukkha, anatta, these 3 characteristics that the Buddha encourages us to see in every cells of our body, everywhere. Not just in the head as an idea, but also, so investigation of thoughts is simply, for example, just to notice when they arise, to notice when they're present, and to notice when they are gone. That's an investigation of thinking, Hopefully you've been doing that. You can investigate also your body. You can investigate the sense of, the elements, water, fire, air, and earth, the sense of heaviness of the body, liquid in the body, the saliva, the nostril, and so on. So investigate the 5 khandas, sanya, perception. What does that mean for you to perceive something? What does that mean for you to perceive something?
To understand?
Yes.
To cognize?
To?
Cognize? Cognition.
Oh, cognition, yeah, cognize, yeah. So, you can investigate. Is my perception permanent or impermanent? Is my perception mine or not mine? Is my perception dukkha or not dukkha? The investigation of the breath, for example, also the air element in the body. It's just, the investigation comes from just observing calmly what's happening. The anicca, dukkha, anatta are not qualities that we perceive straight away. It takes a while to actually see clearly that something is transient, to the point where it never bothers you again, it never brings any suffering anymore. Because you've seen it so clearly, it's kind of lost its attachment to you. Yeah? So, you must read the book on intuitive awareness by Ajahn Sumedho. Have you got it? Yeah? Yeah, you must read it. We have it, I think, here. And amongst the books that that we brought with us. So a lot of our knowledge doesn't come from conceptual knowledge. Do you understand? It comes from the knowledge of seeing and wisdom, recognition, missing out things, suddenly recovering them, being distracted, and you recognize mindfulness is not always present. We can be lost in absorption of anything. So this is the investigation as well, just to notice how the mind works over a period of an hour. How it works. If you're really attentive, then you get to know it quite well. then you're not so fooled by the mind, or you're not so upset by the mind once you know that it's not very good at controlling itself, not very good at, at seeing things clearly. So, we do have things to, you have like the investigation of emotion, that's a big one. Maybe I should give the day, I have given a few times, invited to speak on the wisdom of emotion. I wanted to make a point, because often emotions are not seen within the context of wisdom. So the women are always attacked, supposed to be really unwise because they're so emotional. So I brought the two together just to kind of understand, help people, help all of us to understand that there is wisdom in emotion, but there's many aspects of emotion now. Emotion are actually, incredibly destructive if we don't know ourselves, They're really like a fire. They blind you, they completely, you lose your clarity, you're blinded, you are lost in the fire of the emotions, But also, emotions, if you listen to them and don't identify with them, they're also there to tell you more deeply than thinking where you are at. You understand? Where your life is at. You may think, well, everything is okay, I'm fine, I feel great, and you ask a question, a little, question or something, the whole construct fall apart and people start crying, My life is good, I've got a nice family, a nice husband, and are you happy? Bing, bang, bang. The whole thing, start crying. So sometimes for men and women, it's both, men and women, it has, our thoughts cut us off. It cuts us off, our body capacity to be sensitive, to be aware, to be, intuitive, etc. The thoughts have a wonderful skill. They can cut you off your emotions completely. And emotions, when they are purified, they become the four Brahma Vihara. You see? Purified emotion becomes the four Brahma Vihara. Unpurified emotion, quote unquote, natural emotion, are you ally in letting you know where you're at. So you're careful. You feel, well, I'm going to tell her what I think, because really we need to clarify that situation. It's impossible to... Right, that sounds like a good idea, a good thought, a good wish, and so on. But your heart might not be ready to do that because it's sitting on a mountain of resentment. Do you understand? And resentment is kind of anger. That's what I mean. You need to find out where your head may be saying one thing, but your whole system, the rest of you, is, completely embroiled with anger. Or you may say, well, I really like these people, that person so much, she's such a nice person, blah, 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 blah. And then you suddenly pay attention to your thoughts for 1 or 2 days. And it's not that your thoughts are yours necessarily, but what you think about this person is highly critical. So, you may, no matter how much you may say you like this person, you realize that hasn't been integrated with the rest of your system, which is fine as long as you see it. You see one part says wonderful, she's wonderful, he's wonderful, da da da. The other part, the feeling part, the emotional part, the critical part as well, the mind that is discontented and unhappy and so on, has very different thoughts. Yeah, makes sense? Okay, well maybe I've said enough on that, do you think? So you can investigate all these things till the last breath, till you die. It's not, don't expect something, don't expect anything, Because it's a process that really it doesn't need the stress of time to get to know, to have an insight, you know, because you don't get insight if you're really looking for it, you know. It's coming. I can see. Oh, might be enlightened in a minute. Yeah, I can feel it. So you investigate that, you realize it's anicca, dukkha, anatta, and you let it go. That's an investigation. Do you understand? If you didn't investigate it, your mind might sort of play with you, you know, and start creating, I think I'm the Buddha, you know, and people think I'm Jesus. So investigation is being clever and intelligent with what you see, you know, it's like, okay, how does that work? You investigate cause and effect, for example, your mind. When you are peaceful, you start watching. It's not an intellectual, conceptual process, do you understand? It's just looking. You know through this intuitive awareness looking. So it's a new way of looking at it, you know, rather than number one, I need that, and I need that, and I need the 3 of them, and then 4 of that, and extra, you know. It doesn't work with a process of, you know, learning about Dhamma.
प्रश्न था कि जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन की बात कही जाती है 5 खंडों के इन्वेस्टिगेशन की, वो कैसे करते हैं, कृपया एक उदाहरण से समझाएं। तो आपने बताया कि अजान ने कि इन्वेस्टिगेशन का मुख्य तात्पर्य है कि हम इस जो भी हो रहा है उसको इस तरह से देखें और उसको समझें कि उसके 3 लक्षण हैं, अनित्य, दुख, अनात्म के, और जब भी कुछ उदय हो देखें उसको, और जब वो चला जाए तो भी उसको देखें। खासतौर पर विचारों को उदय काफी जल्दी से मालूम पड़ता है। इसी तरह शरीर के बारे में आपने कहा कि 4 जो महाभूत हैं उसके हिसाब से उनका एनालिसिस करें। जो भी अनुभव हो रहा है, भारीपन है तो पृथ्वी धातु है, कुछ बह रहा है तो जल धातु है, इस तरह से समझें उसको। और फिर परसेप्शन की बात की, संज्ञा की, तो उन्होंने पूछा कि संज्ञा से आप क्या समझते हैं, तो उन्होंने कहा कि जानना। तो संज्ञा से तात्पर्य पहचानना है। तो उन्होंने कहा कि क्या वो उसको परमानेंट है, क्या वो हमेशा रहता है, नित्य है या अनित्य है। तो इस तरह से उसको जानते हुए, अनुभव के आधार पर समझते हुए कि क्या वो हमेशा मेरा ही है अपना, या मैंने ही बनाया है, या किसी और कुछ और कारणों से ऐसा परसेप्शन बना है। तो इस बात को अनुभव के आधार पर भी समझते हुए सबके लिए आवश्यक है कि हम मन हमारा शांत हो, कि कामली हम ऑब्जर्व कर सके, और उसमें समय लगता है। ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही बार में हो जाएगा, लेकिन सचमुच में देखने का मतलब है हम इतना ठीक से उस बात को देखें, अनित्य बोध अगर सचमुच में जागा है, कि वो परिस्थिति फिर हमको दोबारा कभी परेशान न कर सके, तब उसको कहा जाएगा कि हमने सचमुच में उसको ठीक से देख पाया है। मैंने सुझाव दिया कि आप अजान सुमेधो की जो पुस्तक है इंट्यूटिव अवेयरनेस, हमारी लाइब्रेरी में है, जो उनके कलेक्टेड वॉल्यूम्स है उसमें उपलब्ध विजडम नहीं है। लेकिन उन्होंने बताया कि ऐसा नहीं है, इमोशंस के कई आयाम हैं। सामान्यतः तो वो डिस्ट्रक्टिव ही होते हैं, क्योंकि जब इमोशन उठता है तो होश नहीं रहता, विजडम साथ नहीं होती। लेकिन अगर हम उसको ठीक से, तो उससे हमें सीख मिलती है कि हमारी मन की स्थिति क्या है। इट टेल्स यू वेयर यू आर। और सामान्यतः किसी से आप बात करेंगे तो कहेगा हाँ सब ठीक है, सब ठीक है, थोड़ी और बात करेंगे और किसी से पूछेंगे क्या बहुत प्रसन्न हो, तो सारा जो फैकेट बनाया होता है आरंभ में, वो सब टूट जाता है, वो रोने लगता है, रोने लगती है। तो उससे हमें मालूम पड़ता है कि वस्तु स्थिति क्या है। और इमोशंस अगर सचमुच में प्यूरिफाई हो जाए तो वही 4 ब्रह्म विहार, मैत्री, करुणा वगैरह के बनते हैं। तो कई बार हम देखते हैं कि हमारे इंटेलेक्ट में और हार्ट में, हेड और हार्ट में सामंजस्य नहीं होता। इंटेलेक्ट कहता है कि ये अच्छा है, लेकिन हार्ट कहता है कि ये प्राणी ऐसा नहीं है, और वो एक द्वंद्व बना रहता है। तो अगर हम उसको ठीक से देख पाएंगे तो धीरे धीरे वो हार्ट और हेड का इंटीग्रेशन, वो बातें सामंजस्य होने लगता है, लेकिन उसमें ऐसा करने में समय लगता है। ऐसा नहीं एक्सपेक्ट करना चाहिए कि बहुत जल्दी हो जाएगा, और उसकी एक्सपेक्टेशन करेंगे कि मैं कुछ अभी बैठ के ध्यान कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे कुछ इंसाइट अभी मिल जानी चाहिए, तो वैसा होता नहीं है। ये प्रोसेस, जैसे कल भी आपने बताया था कि कभी भी इंसाइट किसी भी परिस्थिति में डेवलप हो सकती है। इट इज नॉट मी हु कैन डेवलप इट, इट हैपेंस बाय अ पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस। तो जो भी हम अनुभव करते हैं उसके अनित्य, दुख, अनात्म स्वभाव को जानते हैं और फिर उसको चिपकाव नहीं करते, तो उसी को इन्वेस्टिगेशन की प्रोसेस का एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण अंग है।
Ajahn, my question pertains to sila, and especially in a business environment where sila is like telling lies, maybe not a white lie, but like maybe exaggerating the truth or underdoing the truth a bit, to that could lead to a loss or a profit. How would you deal in such a situation? Where also, if you do happen to break Shila, I mean, the guilt itself can be so overwhelming. What can you do in a case where you've broken Shila? Thank you.
Sometimes this is something that is missing when in a way, when the country is not Buddhist, like in Thailand, and in the West, it's the same thing. I find what is missing in Buddhist interesting like in Western countries or here in India or anywhere else, which is not pure, simply Buddhist. You don't have a place where you can go back and take your precept again formally and ask for forgiveness and, that kind of thing. And that is really missing, I find. Ideally, the best thing would be to have a little shrine in the place where we live, to have a little shrine, and to, if you're interested, to take the precept yourself every week, and then to have a little ceremony of asking for forgiveness to the Buddha, or, Pierre, a way of clearing the way, a way of clearing your mind from any remorse and guilt and worry and so on, So, the Buddha, we tend to exaggerate, all of us, Ajahn Amaravati has talked about his way, everybody kind of exaggerate, so it's kind of not very human. Want us to make things bigger than they are, But that's what I would suggest, or you can maybe talk to a good friend, like a Dharma friend, that you can just say, this is what happened, You can be your good friend, in the sense it's okay not to be purely enlightened, perfectly enlightened on day one. So you have a lot of things that's not going to be purely attuned to the standard expected in Sila, But Sila, one thing which I really like to, in a way, stress in Sila is that the precepts are not to make you a perfect human being, only. I mean, at some level, it's helping you to perfect your speech, perfect your thought, perfect everything. It's we break the Sila because we have a mind. If there was no mind, no Sila. I mean, no problem with Sila. We wouldn't speak about Sila. We have Sila because the mind is treacherous and quite mischievous, So I would say that precepts are really there to help us to reflect on those aspects of the precept, to contemplate what does that mean to not harm anybody. So some people, insist that maybe if they, step on the mosquitoes or something, that's probably, killing or something. So the people have come to me over the years, and many of the teaching monks and nuns, say, well, I've got a little garden, and I've got all these kind of snails eating my aubergine, what do I do? Yeah, my mother had an organic little garden at some point in the garden, and she had, I remember she used to you had a kind of technology where you just put food for the snail and then they're full so they don't eat your aubergine, you see. You had certain things that the snail liked, apparently. But, so trying to keep the precept is one aspect of the precept, is that source of reflection. So at some point you do the best you can. You know, like if people come and say, well, I'm working in a company where I know they are selling arms, or I know they are mistreating the what do you call that, the autochtone, we say in French, people living in the jungle, you know, the natives, and they're not treating them well and so on. So what do you do when you have 4 kids and so on? Are you going to give up your job? So you can mitigate, you know, because in a way you haven't initiating this killing. You're just you're there for the intention, with the intention of earning your living so you can support a family, for example. And when it comes to lie, or, you know, as you say, white lies, not white lie, but like exaggeration and so on, we all do that, you know. It's just a refinement of speech, little by little. You forgive yourself and you say, okay, next time I do better. So it's more like a process of learning, when you go off tangent, you know, than the being perfect, aligning yourself with perfection. That's one of the reasons why, you know, the Four Noble Truths are so helpful, because really they bring us back to reality, that our human reality is that we don't like to suffer. At some point, you know, once you have a mind that learns, you can see your mind that can be empty and peaceful, or quite at peace with the traffic, you know, in the mind, you know, whatever you have. Do you have an M25 here? In London, you have the M25, which is a highway surrounding London. So kind of, it's a bit of a...
There was a ring road here also.
A ring, yeah. So, you know, to be at peace with a mind that's moving, that's quite important, like active mind. And when you have like precept on not taking what is not given, for example. So, as monastic, we have it quite strict, and say, don't take things that do not belong to you, or has not been given to you. So don't go and check in your husband or your wife phone, you know, the messages, or pick up a book and steal it, take it out. Just got the energy draw to you, you know. You see that more in meditation nowadays. Before you think, oh, it's something very special, you know. Something very special, you know, she looked at me or he looked at her, you know, and so on. It might just be that, you know, if you look at somebody for too long, even if their back is turned, they turn to you and look at you suddenly. So don't imagine it's just for you. It's just a law of attraction, you know, without any love story in it particularly. No? And so also the brahmacharya is very important, you know, and skillful sexual conduct, you know. So that is, sometimes you contemplate on the fact that, you know, you look at that, you know, is my intention selfish? I just want to have pleasure, you know, at the expense of another person, and then throw that person away once the pleasure is done, you know. You know, most people will do that, but at some point you reflect, something in you is touched. It's like the heart can't do that at some point, because you see people as human. And if you see them as human, then you know that they suffer just as you suffer when you're left out and abandoned, you know. So this Tila really refine and clarify a lot of aspects of our actions, you know. And then, you know, the speech, that's a big one, you know. I mean, speech is like endless. It's the hardest one, because, you know, your speech comes from your thoughts, by the way. So if you want to know what your mind is doing, just listen to yourself speaking. You know, people don't realize that speech is not separate from the chitta, you know, Speech, thought breaks into speech. So this is a mirror. You can see in your speech a mirror of your mind. You know how you think, the feeling that goes with your thinking, and so on. It's very important. And then intoxicating drugs, drinking, consuming intoxicating drinks and drugs, so that's also something you can, observe the effect, In fact, there's a saying that if you break that one, you break all the others, usually. If you become drunk, you can start, kill somebody, you abuse somebody sexually, you probably lie, you probably, harm somebody as well. So, you have to be, it makes you very responsible, you become very, much more careful in what you do. It's not fearful, but almost in the sense of being frightened to do a wrong thing. And Ajahn Chah used to say about the Vinaya, you have to come to the point in the Vinaya where you are really, I don't want to misquote him, but almost like the sense of you would be terrified to break the Vinaya, you'll be sweating rather than break, the thought of breaking the Vinaya. The consciousness has to be so sharp to not abandon your commitment to the good, Then of course you can be forgiven. Many of the transgression of the rules are fairly benign, It's not a serious transgression. Taking something which has not been offered by body speech arrangement is an acknowledgement offense, for the sīladhārā. I don't know about the monks, but for the sīladhārā, you might have not, maybe it depends on your intention. If you knew that and you still take it, or if you forgot it and you were careless, you were talking with people and you didn't really realize it hadn't been offered. The intention is really what matters, in the seriousness of a transgression. So, it's very important to come to the point where you can forgive yourself, otherwise you can never do anything anymore because you're terrified, But that's why it will be good to have a way of acknowledging your offense, you're breaking the precepts, do it to puja, do a ceremony, and then bow 3 times, and you have the in the evening chanting, Kayena vācaya vācita. You can do this one, for example. You could do all together the Buddha Dhamma Sangha as one single little chant for your forgiving, and be asking for forgiveness from the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Yeah? So it's a good question, because many people struggle with that. So, that's what the thing that has always struck me. We have lots of different ways of, our fortnight recitation is for that, to start again, to begin again. And lay people don't have much of that, So this is important, yeah.
आपने प्रश्न पूछा कि शील के बारे में वो कुछ क्लैरिफिकेशन चाहते हैं, क्योंकि बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट में कई चीज़ों को बढ़ा चढ़ा के कहना पड़ता है या कुछ अपने कमियां छुपानी पड़ती हैं, तो ऐसी परिस्थिति में कैसे हैंडल किया जाए। तो अजान ने बताया कि जो नॉन बुद्धिस्ट कंट्रीज हैं उसमें एक ये दिक्कत रहती है कि कोई ऐसी जगह नहीं है जहाँ पे क्या कोई भी साधक जो है अगर शील तोड़ता है तो वो दोबारा जाके कन्फेस कर पाए और वहां जाके क्षमा याचना करे और दोबारा से शील का निवेदन करे। आइडियली उन्होंने कहा कि अगर कोई आपके मित्र हो, धम्मा फ्रेंड हो, तो उनसे जाके शेयर कर सकते हैं, या फिर अपने घर में ही कोई श्राइन बनाया है तो वहां से फॉर्मेलिटी एक सेरेमनी करके यू कैन सीक फॉरगिवनेस। तो बेसिक उद्देश्य है कि हमारा मन जो है वो रिमोर्स और जो अपनी भूल के दुख से याद करके जो दुख होता है उससे बच सके। साथ ही ये भी कहा कि जो शील है वो एक परफेक्शन की साइंस में परफेक्शनिस्ट के एटीट्यूड से नहीं देखने चाहिए। उनका उद्देश्य है कि हम रिफ्लेक्ट कर सकें, कंटेम्पलेट कर सकें अपने बिहेवियर के बारे में। जैसे उन्होंने उदाहरण बताया कि किसी ने कहा कि गाँव में अपने गार्डन में कुछ स्नेल्स हैं तो क्या करें उनको, तो कुछ ऐसा तरीका निकाला कि स्नेल्स का भोजन दिया जाए तो वो अलग हो जाएंगे, फिर वो जो उनके मेन प्रोड्यूस है उसको खराब नहीं करेंगे। तो मॉस्किटोज हैं उनको कैसे हैंडल करें। तो उन्होंने बताया कि शील जो है एक सोर्स ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन, कि हम उसके ऊपर विवेचन कर सकें। मुख्य उद्देश्य ये है कि हम वी ट्राई टू डू आवर बेस्ट। कई बार उन्होंने बताया उदाहरण के तौर पे कि ऐसी परिस्थिति होती है कि कुछ लोग ऐसी कंपनी में काम कर रहे हैं जो कि शस्त्र आयुध बेच रहे हैं, तो लोगों को दिक्कत होती है कि हम काम करें कि नहीं करें, अपना जॉब छोड़ दें क्या। तो उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि वो आप डायरेक्टली उसमें इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, लेकिन क्योंकि आपने ऐसा काम इनिशिएट नहीं किया है, लेकिन वो देखने की, उसको समझने की जरूरत है कि कैसे हम अपनी आजीविका को सम्मिलित कर सकते हैं। फिर रिफाइनमेंट ऑफ स्पीच के बारे में कहा, सम्मा वाचा के बारे में। धीरे धीरे ये काफी मुश्किल काम आजकल के जमाने में है, लेकिन अभ्यास करके धीरे धीरे हम अपनी स्पीच को भी सम्यक बना सकते हैं। ये सब शील जो है वो एक सीखने की प्रोसेस है, क्योंकि हम उसमें कहते हैं ना, सिक्खा पदम की बात करते हैं। ये परफेक्शनिस्ट एटीट्यूड नहीं रखना चाहिए। और जब हम चित्त हमारा शांत हो तब ये बात स्पष्ट मालूम पड़ने लगती है। फिर उन्होंने कहा जो जैसे जो चीज मुझे नहीं दी गई उसको नहीं लेना है, उस बात की प्रिसेप्ट की बात की। तो उन्होंने कहा कि जो प्रवर्जित हैं लोग, उनको लिए तो बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट माना जाता है कि कोई भी चीज ले जा, लेकिन कभी ऐसा भी होता है कि हम किसी से ले जाते हैं और भूल जाते हैं, तो जो इंटेंशन है वो ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है। इसी तरह ब्रह्मचर्य की बात उन्होंने कही कि हमें इस पर विवेचन करना चाहिए कि क्या हमारा इंटेंशन किसी के प्रति, अगर हम अट्रैक्ट होते हैं, हमारा इंटेंशन क्या है कि केवल उस प्राणी को यूज करके अपने सुख के लिए यूज कर रहे हैं। तो अगर इस तरह से रिफ्लेक्ट करेंगे तो हमें समझ आएगा कि हम सिर्फ दूसरे लोगों को अपने इंद्रिय सुख के लिए यूज कर रहे हैं, या सचमुच में हमें उनके प्रति प्रेम की भावना है। खासतौर पे उन्होंने कहा कि जो स्पीच है वो काफी सम्यक करना काफी मुश्किल होता है, और कई बार हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि जो हमारी वाणी है उसके पीछे हमारा विचार होता है, क्योंकि विचारों का प्रकटीकरण ही शब्दों के रूप में होता है। तो वो किस तरह के हम शब्द यूज कर रहे हैं, तो वो हमारे विचार, मन का एक रिफ्लेक्शन है, मिरर है एक तरह से। फिर उन्होंने कहा उसका जो इंटॉक्सिकेटिंग ड्रिंक्स, नशा पैदा न करने की बात कही, कि उसके लिए अगर हम उसके इफेक्ट जो होता है उसको ऑब्जर्व करेंगे कि किस तरह से हम अगर नशे में होते हैं तो सारे गलत काम हो सकते हैं, किसी हत्या भी हो जाती है, विचार भी हो जाता है। तो अगर हम उसको रिफ्लेक्ट करेंगे तो शायद उससे उसके प्रति एक तरह का भय बैठता है। तो एक वो होलसम भय है, जो कि उन्होंने कहा कि अजान शाह भिक्षुओं से कहा करते थे कि हमको ऐसी इतना स्ट्रिक्ट होना चाहिए विनय के बारे में, ताकि विनय और धीरे धीरे इतनी शुद्ध हो जाती है कि शील तोड़ना संभव नहीं हो जाए, तोड़ नहीं सकते हैं। कई बार शील जो है केयरलेसली तोड़ देते हैं, ऐसे कि अजन्ना की बात कर रहे थे कि कोई हमारी चीज नहीं है और हमने ले ली, तो अगर केयरलेसली ले ली है तो उसका अलग अर्थ, अगर इंटेंशनली ली है तो अलग है। तो बता रहे थे कि जो भिक्षु और भिक्षुणियों के लिए भी है एक्नॉलेजमेंट ऑफिस से, इसको मानने से ही, मात्र से ही क्षमा याचना की जा सकती है। अंत में आपने कहा कि एक जब भी ऐसी कभी भूल हो और मन में ग्लानि हो तो उसके लिए एक तो अपने को फॉरगिव करना सीखना चाहिए, और अच्छा रहे एक फॉर्मल सेरेमनी करें, और क्या तो अपने ही श्राइन में या कहीं जाके, और जैसे हम चैंटिंग में बुद्ध धम्म संघ से क्षमा मांगते हैं वैसे ही कहें, ताकि मन में इम्प्रिंट रहे कि आगे से हम ऐसा नहीं करेंगे।
Okay. I have time for another question. Don't be shy.
So, Ajahn, as part of our life, we play different roles.
It's a part
as part of
life, reflecting.
Yes, a part of my job. Like, you know, when I go to a supermarket, I meet a cashier. When I go to the restaurant, I meet a waiter, and I see myself unconsciously playing a role. The mindfulness vanishes very quickly. The role, I call it the ghost. So there's the unconditioned person comes up, and I play a role rather than just being mindful and relaxed. So, for example, I want to be very nice to the lady who is standing outside in the winter and checking the bags. So, unconsciously, I play the nice, I want to be a nice person.
Are you aware of that?
Yes, but usually after the interaction.
It's good enough, isn't it? It could be worse. You could be not aware of it at all. It's fine. Life is not a problem. Now you notice you play a role. A role of what, by the way?
Just I feel very bad for someone who's not very well off, and
you want to cheer her up.
Yeah.
Right. Well, she might be quite happy without you too.
Yeah.
There's a kind of assumption that.
Yes, I think it's like sympathetic when there is no need to be.
You can just, it's very important for human, I think, and in our community. I don't know if I'm kind of absorbing the particles, but occasionally there is kind of woof something. But
it'll be sorted out. It'll be sorted out by evening.
Oh, really? It's all right. So far, they haven't done me too bad, anything too bad. But so, when you have that kind of, sorry, I can't speak yet. When you feel that, it's quite normal, to have this sort of responses. In our community, for example, I think it's really the standard I want in this community, in our community, that I don't expect it, but this is a standard I like between people. We don't have to like each other, we don't have to think we're great, but at least we can be respectful and kind. No matter what we think of each other, we're respectful and we're kind. That's a tall order already, okay? So, if she feels respected, this lady, and you're kind to her, that should be enough. It's just a natural response of living dignifiedly with each other, But you don't have to be the sort of pepper up. And because she might be quite happy, and you might be quite miserable, you don't know which one is most miserable of the two. Materially speaking, she might not be so well off, but she might be very content in her life, with happy children, dogs, and, shack at the back, and so on. So it's an assumption that it's but why not? I mean, it's a nice role to be kind and empathetic towards people. Life is not a problem. That's just how it manifests. And obviously this role is annoying you because it feels not natural, does it? Oh, it's over there. It's okay. The role that you're talking about, Surabhi, you notice that there's something not quite right about that. It's more like the assumption, You assume that she needs your kind, But everybody loves a bit of kindness, everybody loves a bit of appreciation. But if somebody pep me up when I don't need it, I could really be upset.
Yeah.
It's like talking to a depressed person and say, look at the sky, it's so beautiful, look at the people, life is so good. And You make them more depressed, because they feel the distance between the happiness and the depression increases. You show them all the happiness around them, and they don't get it. So there's no problem. You just notice. It's funny how people think when they do something that does not correspond to what they expect, they think the mindfulness is gone. So I go back and say, did you notice that? Yes. So that was mindfulness. Obviously you were looking at it, but you were not in control. And the result was not in control either. So both of them not being there, you feel, oh my God, I've lost it, me wasn't there. Yeah, then we do that a lot, in our practice. A few minutes more.
आपका प्रश्न था कि हम जीवन में कई रोल प्ले करते हैं, जैसे कहीं मार्केट में गए, कोई कैशियर है तो या वेटर है, होटल में गए, तो उनको लगता है कि हमारी कोशिश होती है कि मैं रिलैक्स्ड रहूं और उनके साथ अच्छा व्यवहार करूं, लेकिन वो एक रोल की तरह होता है, वो नेचुरल नहीं होता, ऐसा उनको लगता है। तो अजान ने कहा कि ये अज्यूम करना कि कोई अगर वेल ऑफ नहीं है तो वो सचमुच में परेशान है, एंड आई शुड चीयर हिम अप, देयर इज अ बेसिक, उसमें एक अजम्पशन है, एक अज्यूम कर रहे हैं कि वो क्योंकि वो वेल ऑफ नहीं है तो वो बेचैनी होगा। हो सकता है वो सचमुच में प्रसन्न हो और आप उससे ज्यादा अनहैप्पी हो। उदाहरण दिया कि हमारी जो कम्युनिटी है नन्स की, वहाँ पे हम ये नहीं एक्सपेक्ट करते कि हमको सारा हर एक दूसरे को सब कुछ बहुत लाइक करेंगे, लेकिन बेसिक रूल है कि हाँ हम एक दूसरे के प्रति आदर दिखाएंगे और मैत्री का भाव रखेंगे। तो एक नेचुरल रिस्पॉन्स है, बट हम एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं ऐसा। तो ये अपने मन में भार न रखना कि मुझे हर किसी को उसको पसंद करना है, ये शायद आवश्यक नहीं है। और अगर हम कई बार कुछ काम करते हैं और उसका परिणाम वैसा नहीं आता जैसा कि हम चाहते थे, हमारे मन में कहीं इम्प्लिसिट था, तो हमको लगता है कि शायद मैं सजग नहीं था। ऐसा नहीं, आवश्यक नहीं है, ये सोचना ही शायद ठीक नहीं है। और फिर उन्होंने कहा कि अगर आप कोई किसी को आवश्यकता नहीं है किसी का उत्साह बढ़ाने की, और हम उसको उत्साह बढ़ाने की कोशिश करें तो शायद वो उसको बुरा भी लग सकता है।
Okay, well, getting close to 5. So, has anybody got a burning question before tomorrow? If we don't, we can just stop. Can I just ask your name? You just arrived today?
Yes. My name is Siddharth.
You're from India as well? Okay. Did you?
He's my son. I asked him to come today. Oh. He wants to make an offering to you, actually. That's the main reason.
Oh, I see. Pardon me?
Can you make an offering just now?
You can, yes, you can. You're also an engineer, like your dad.
Yes.
You are the same college. Right? Yes. Do you teach it too? Do some chanting. Sambaruga vinimuto sambasanta pavachito Sambhaviramati kanto nibuto chatawamba wasabi tiyo vivajantu sambarogo vinasatu mate bhavan vantarayo sukhi digayugo bhavahabhiva dannasirisa niccavudham pachayino Jaktaro dhamma vadanti ayuvano sukham balam. Thank you. So you're going to come and join us from time to time? You are. You brought your little girl last time, didn't you?
Yes.
I don't remember her. You have to bring her again. Okay, so what do you do while we're having tea down there? You all go back home? No? Where are you staying? All of you are staying nearby? No? You walk home or you...
No. Most of us don't stay.
Do you have a place where you can stay?
Most of us don't stay.
Stay far up. She stays about 30 kilometers.
Oh.
She will go at the end of the session in the night. She will go.
Yes.
And then come back in the morning.
And what about the others?
Most of them.
Same. Wow.
Only I am staying nearby.
That's right.
He is also staying quite near.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rajendraji stays very near. In fact, he stays nearest of all.
So you don't stay with your cousin?
Yes.
You do? You stay with your cousin?
I stay in a hotel because his wife is not well actually.
Oh, I see.
She's quite unwell. Wife and mother both are unwell.
Well, we should really have dedication for your wife tonight when we do the evening chanting. We do that at Amaravati.
She's not well.
People give us, maybe we want to send blessings to your wife.
She has pain in the knees, she can't sit. She's saying she can do invocation.
No, she doesn't need to come. No, she doesn't need to come. We can dedicate some blessing to your wife. Like we do in our monastery at Amaravati. People give us little notes about somebody suffering from cancer, somebody died, somebody... and or children sort of going to have an exams or all kind, and we just kind of we don't promise anything, but we send with the goodwill of well-being and So, and more than that for a little bit.